Welcome back. Welcome back. It's HMW Sports Talk Live. It's the final segment of this week's show. Craig Sheldon right here from HMW. We're here every week, 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. We encourage you to join us every Saturday. That's Angelo Lawford, also from HoustonMediaWatch.com. Go check out the website, HoustonMediaWatch.com, or just Google up HMW. That would be us. My main man, Michael O. Smith, huge Johnny Manziel fan, Texans fan, in studio, joining us all the way from Dayton, Texas. We love to kick it with the folks. We get down on Facebook and Twitter, so we invited my man in. He's got a lot to say on Facebook and on Facebook in particular. Let's get back real quick before my man, the ultimate Manzielic, Michael O. Smith, makes his case for the Texans drafting Manziel with the first overall pick. But I want to run through this schedule real quick for you. The home games for the Texans next year, Washington, that's September the 7th. And then Mario Williams and the Buffalo Bills comes to Reliance Stadium, and that will be on September 28th. That first matchup with the Colts will be 2 weeks later on October 9th. And the Philadelphia Eagles and that offense on November the 2nd will be in Houston to play. Cincinnati, November 13th. Tennessee, back-to-back weeks with Tennessee, Sunday, November 23rd, and Sunday, November 30th. And then they get Baltimore and Jacksonville to close out the season at home on the 21st and the 28th of December. On the road this year, the Texans get Matt Sharp and the Raiders. That'll be in week number 2, September 14th. Going to be an interesting game there. The Texans and the Jets are always an interesting matchup and typically a tough matchup for the Texans. That'll be week 3 on September the 21st. Then there's that matchup on October 5th. Richard Walker and I won't be speaking. The Texans and the Dallas Cowboys, folks. It's going to be wonderful. Johnny Manziel sitting on the bench behind Tony Romo. It's going to be an interesting week.
You want to even start on that one too?
The Texans get the Steelers Monday, October the 20th, and that's the Monday night game. And then they get Tennessee. They go to Tennessee on October 26th. The Texans bye week this week is in week 9. I think I actually kind of like that as we move on during the weeks. I'll tell you what I like about the Texans bye week being in week number 9. And they get Jacksonville. They go to Jacksonville on December the 7th. Back-to-back weeks, December 7th and December 14th, Jacksonville and Indianapolis. So, as you can see, folks, a pretty manageable season for the Texans. And in Michael O. Smith's opinion, extremely manageable for the Texans in regard to seeing a record improvement if they draft Johnny Manziel #1 overall. And the Texans should do this. Why? You're so sold on this.
Yes.
Explain yourself.
Because the Texans don't have a quarterback. And if you don't have a quarterback, you and me can agree that the quarterback is the most important position on the field.
Yes, it is.
And if you don't have a quarterback, you hire you a good coach. We hired a good coach, a quarterback guru supposedly, and I believe that it just blows my mind to think that a quarterback coach that used to coach Tom Brady would come in as the head coach and draft a defensive player. I would think that he would be like looking at this draft and saying, who is going to be that quarterback that's going to give me my Tom Brady? You know what I'm saying? For the Houston Texans. So
do you believe and trust everything that comes out of the media?
Not everything.
So let me ask you a question. Why do you call Bill O'Brien a quarterback guru?
Because that's what the media says. And
wait a minute, stop. I just asked you if you believe everything that comes out the media. And you got that from where? The media? Have you ever heard the Texans or Bill O'Brien refer to himself as a quarterback guru?
No.
So you kind of just pick and choose what you want to believe from the media, is what I'm saying.
Well, let's just put it this way. Do you think that after a 14-2 season that Bob Lanier is going to hire a person that's not going to be a quarterback?
Well, I just think Bob Lanier is going to be left out of the process because he's not running Metro anymore and he's not the mayor of this city. But Bob Lanier, the owner of the Texans, may have a little something to say about it. I know you know who the owner is. I couldn't help with that one. Hey, earlier when we were at lunch, I said that Clowney, I said that Medberger played in the ACC. You corrected me, SEC. It happens. Look, I disagree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we know that. But we're buddies.
Right.
We had lunch today
Yep.
at McDonald's.
No.
And the stuff that we were drinking that looked like beer wasn't beer. It was Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper.
And the young lady that was waiting on us that was scantily clad was really not working there. She was just a really nice young lady
Very nice.
that was probably on crack and just looking to make a buck. Yeah, we were not at Twin Peaks. Okay. You have some questions for me. And so let's go.
Okay.
Let's go with it. Texas related, all Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
So,
All right.
are you okay with Johnny Manziel going to the Jags? Because
Yes.
because
Why wouldn't I be?
because here's the deal. You're gonna have Andrew Luck and Johnny Manziel both in the same conference, playing them both 2 times a year. And you think that's a good thing?
I think there have been a lot of awesome football players in the NFL in the history of the league. And I think the Texans played in the division with Peyton Manning. And somehow, over the last couple of years, the last 2 years prior to last year, were the best team in the division. I just think that the NFL will survive, and teams will still win games other than the teams that Johnny Manziel play on. I don't think that once Johnny Manziel comes into the league, it means you should just shut down your football operation, because now you have to face Johnny Manziel twice a year. Your life and your career is over with. I would love for Johnny Manziel to be in a Texans uniform and be a part of the roster at a value pick, not at the #1 overall pick. Next question.
Let's see here. So you can live with Johnny becoming a star on another team. What do you think that's going to do to the fan base if they pass on Johnny, okay, and Johnny Manziel becomes, the next Peyton Manning?
Well, that's a good question from the Manzielic Nation. Here's the deal. Because Johnny Manziel, let's just say you're right. And let's say they pass on him and he goes to another team and he becomes great. Hall of Fame level. It doesn't mean that because they passed on him that the guy they took is not going to be great and be out on the Hall of Fame pace as in his own right. Let me give you an example. Craig, you're just throwing stuff around. Well, let me give you an example. There was another time in history in this town when everybody in this town said the Texans should draft Reggie Bush or Vince Young. And the Texans drafted who they thought was the best football player. Now, here's something a lot of you Texans fans don't even know. Vincent Young was never, ever on the Texans draft board as a #1 draft pick. He was never considered by Charlie Casserly as a viable #1 pick option.
He did come into Houston, though, and beat him.
Are you going to be ridiculous?
He did.
Are you going to make a fool out of yourself? You're going to let me do it?
Just saying.
Don't make a fool. Listen, Vince Young can't play.
I
That was
know
proved.
that now.
Reggie Bush has been a little bit above serviceable. Mario Williams, say what you want, Houston fans, who sometimes are not quite as smart as you should be, he's on a Hall of Fame pace as a sack rusher. Hall of Fame numbers at the rate he's going.
Yeah.
You understand that?
Oh, yeah.
So there's a precedent that's been set. So, yeah, I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
I think the fan base, there will be a percentage that's upset. And there will be a percentage that says, well, I would have liked to have had him here, but I'm glad we got Clowney. And then there will be a percentage that says whatever. But there won't be a notable percentage that says, I'm giving up my season tickets because the Texans didn't draft Johnny Manziel. That's just not going to happen, man.
Yeah.
No. Next question.
Would your opinion change if Johnny was 4 inches taller, 6'4"?
Great question. If Johnny Manziel was 4 inches taller as a prospect, my opinion would change. But if that was the only thing different about him, no, it wouldn't change enough for me to say that now he's the #1. He's the #1 overall guy.
Would you made that bet on that eating that shirt?
Yeah, because if you're still running out of the pocket with the best offensive line in college football because you're undisciplined and selfish, we'll be here next week, folks. Michael O. Smith probably won't. His wife won't let him out the house. We appreciate y'all. Love you. We'll see you next week, man.